Yeah, I didn't use my covering fire while I loaded the whole clip.
There you go.
Covering fire.
I think the meme is suppressing fire, but yes.
It is, but the homebrew thing that Dexter has is called covering
Oh,
fire.
Yeah.
fancy.
Suppressing fire is for heavy weapons and
True.
starts that number.
And doesn't work after level 5 or some nonsense.
What?
Huh?
I don't know. There was discussion on the
There's-
server about how suppressing fire becomes useless later.
Oh yeah, it's still different from the covering fire. Covering fire is a more personal combat thing, whereas suppressing fire is
All right.
Oops.
Go into review.
Yeah, well, I picked up
We can be nerds about suppressing fire later.
I can overwatch basically,
Woohoo!
but I have to shoot a lot of shots down the range.
Yeah. All right, so I don't have any specific questions. What thoughts have you guys got for me? Yeah. Let's hear your thoughts first.
I'd say it definitely started off also, but part of that was also I was definitely not very focused at the start, so I had to be reminded or refresh on what the situation actually was, and that's on me.
I mean, it feels, I'm actually willing to say this on air, it feels like sometimes you're hoping for us to improv and add more stuff to an investigation than any of us actually does. And that's not necessarily a you problem or an us problem, it's a little of both, but it's frustrating sometimes.
I want to. I don't fully disagree with that, but I do want to put a word in. I don't expect you to improv or add to the world or the scene. What I take from that is that perhaps I'm asking or expecting too much self-directed. Like, I don't want you guys to make up details. I just want you to decide where you're going.
Well,
we knew.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to be at least a little bit equivocal in your response. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, we know it's like in this case, like we knew our contact was Perry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they knew we were supposed to be coming.
I think our contact was Corey or whatever.
Yeah,
It was
that Corey?
either one of them.
Well,
Yep.
it was Perry and Corey.
Yeah. Well, Corey's the one who sent the message because it says I'm Makoro Waka.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's probably fair. I read that and it slipped my mind that it might be relevant.
But, you know, ultimately it's them two, right? So you're good.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Anyways, yeah, so we go there. We're looking, like, we get a room there. We see there's something suspicious going on there. It sounds like my initial hunch was actually correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, it's like we don't really want to engage it because it feels like to really learn more, we're gonna have to like engage with them with those people directly.
Mm-hmm.
And we did. I think going to trying to track down Corey was a good idea.
It was not a crazy idea.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy.
And like, right?
But
no,
it's but see Corey. But that's the thing is Corey was one that we couldn't actually interact with right now because they're just out in a boat somewhere presumably.
Right. And we established that pretty quickly once we looked. But at the same time, right? No, like
it had to circle back around to it.
Like again, I want to stress this isn't anybody in particular's fault, but it's definitely like a recurring thing. It's happened a lot in the universe games too.
It's like two ships passing in the night.
Yeah. You tell us, okay, this is what's going on, and we go, and then, 2 hours later, we actually start the adventure.
I feel like in this session, there were ideas that were put forth, but they were not. They were voiced with a little bit of uncertainty, and there wasn't a lot of pickup. So the lack of response mixed with the uncertainty meant that they just weren't going anywhere. Like, Meowkin had some theories. Nox straight up said what was going on. Fairly early on.
No, there's definitely, again, it's not fully on you.
So
right?
what can I do to help you guys coordinate and communicate better?
That's a good question.
I
gotta be honest, I think the thing that would help is sentences with periods on them coming sooner.
Fair enough.
Okay? Like, Perry is not here right now was literally a mislead. or Perry might have left the hotel or whatever it was you
yeah,
said,
'cause it was
literally
like-
misleading.
Because it was so entirely plausible that he had just left
Right.
through the
Not
back
great.
door.
Right. As far as I know, he's still here, period. And we go look for him in the hotel, and maybe we ask the dude, where he's at. One would hope. Okay, again, a certain amount of this is on us, right?
Which was really just like we didn't press hard enough.
Right. More definite and straightforward information should lead to quicker decisions, one would hope.
Let me hear from Nox. Nox has been trying to put a word in.
All right.
Sorry. My hesitation on the kind of pulling the trigger on the whole, hey, we should probably go, check their room or see if they're there, was more in favor of not wanting to step anywhere near any kind of metagaming level. And it might not be narrative metagaming, but it is. I know how games go. I've read a book or two, and so this is typically how things go.
I mean, we're looking for a guy check his room.
Is on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. You're cool there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. Also, the people were excited to do. It looked like people were excited to go in the other direction and kill, some time. There are people here. There's an active mission going on. There's on the lookout for people inside the building. The guys in the building. There's something happening in the building, and we're walking away from it.
Yeah. I left it alone because it seemed like I definitely didn't have any particular idea. Other people did. I was like, okay, let me just ride this out.
Yeah.
Not my best decision ever, but at the same time, I didn't know what we ought to be doing. I'd have said something if I thought I did.
I also want to put out that I'm absolutely okay with you guys stepping back and saying, as players, we need to talk about the information that we have, consolidate this, and I'm not one of those GMs where you have to always be thinking and doing in character. I respect that. I appreciate all the in character interaction, but sometimes information is misunderstood. Sometimes information is left vague, accidentally or intentionally.
Right.
And
no, that's fair. Maybe we got to go to that well sooner then. I don't know.
And maybe I'll suggest it sooner.
Yeah.
When I stepped back and said, okay, here are your 3 most likely courses of actions, was that helpful in that moment, or was that too late?
Little late, but not wrong. I think it's what actually got us over the hump.
I will say it was helpful. Arguably, it may have been. It could have happened sooner.
Okay.
But I think it was a good move.
Yeah, no, that definitely got us moving again after the break, for sure.
Okay. Ben, you've been quiet. Any thoughts? You don't have to.
It's just a weird situation. We're in a bit of a pickle, I guess.
I don't like pushing, and that's on me. That's not necessarily a healthy dislike in gaming. And so
context is important there. This is a context where it probably did make more sense than some others.
All right. Well, this is all good feedback. I mean, honestly, your guys' feedback is almost always been really good. So.
Try our best.
All right. Cool. Any other thoughts aside from the pacing?
I'll say I don't want to be called a murder hobo.
Don't act like one.
I was going to ask about that. I was going to ask about the active game.
I thought that was a perfect. Again, I'm not generally in favor of the cold blood executing prisoners, but I felt like at that point there was a valid reason to do so. Whereas a murder hobo, I believe, does things without reason other than I guess murder hobo sometimes the reason is I want to rob this shop.
I also want to put out there that This is kind of in defense of Meowkin, but not intending to be in defense of Meowkin. He's been in my prior games, so has a little bit more of the nuance between the sapient and the sentient. Destroying that android would have just been destroying a 10,000 credit piece of equipment. It doesn't actually have
even if it expressed a sense of survival. I gave it that chance.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
even so, we're still not destroying.
I'm
Destroying
actually,
it, quote unquote.
I'm perfectly happy to concede all of that. Really,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's 10,000 credit piece of equipment belonging to some guys who are literally waiting outside with guns.
Yeah.
They may be mad if you break it.
It was definitely
And
a piece of
again,
leverage.
That was also not operating under the assumption that they already probably knew that we would be the ones that have destroyed it because we were walking around in uniform.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we gained some context over the course of the conversation that talked us out of it, so that part's good.
Yep.
We're good there. Maybe I used a loaded term. Sorry if I did, but like.
Yeah,
Andrew,
I have a different definition of murder hobo. That has to be basically done without reason.
and
Yeah, we're
Andrew
clearly
was not
working
making
off the
that
same-
easier. Andrew
we're
was
clearly not working off the same definition. It's okay.
Apparently not. Yeah, I just want to be clear there.
And Andrew was not making that easier. Andrew was trying to hold that final piece of leverage, the only piece of leverage Andrew had, back to avoid destruction.
If I'm being honest, in all respects, it was a successful interrogation.
It was very cooperative for an android.
It worked out. It took a bit, but it worked out. We found out something we didn't know. It was good.
I like to imagine that the best information there came from the conversation about Halo. We should kill this thing, but it's not sapient.
Well, yeah, and
That really got to talking.
Right. That, and now we know there's some kind of ship involved, which is new. That's new. That's
Yes.
new information.
So it inevitably worked out for everyone.
I will
Except for
also
the
say,
android. Well, no, I guess it still worked out for the android too.
He's gonna live, maybe, for a certain
He's
value.
gonna live until he gets back to Spectre Star and they decide that he's not worth it anymore.
For a certain
it's like-
value of live, he's gonna live. Exactly.
Ben,
yeah, he's been compromised by Ross, so they're gonna have to scrap him.
Ben, what's up?
I was gonna say we tried every option, such as, okay, can you erase your memory? Like we went through all the
And now we're
nice
using him as
ways.
a hostage.
Yeah, and
We're not
that
even
is
really
something
using him as a hostage. We're using him as like
Leverage.
leverage. Yes, a tchotchke to give them.
and that is actually a question that has come up in my detailing of androids. I decided at one point in the past that they cannot on their own erase their memory because that is that's something that owners don't want them to be able to do.
Well, that's going to create more narrative problems for you than it solves, too. I understand the decision from a meta perspective.
The important thing is
yeah.
consistency too.
While we're on that topic, can the memory be erased on a not programming but fixed level?
Yeah, I know the sapient androids is a whole problem, but is that the same thing applied to regular androids?
No, it's easier on regular androids. Their programming is hidden so many layers deep that
Kind of like super hard
it's-
to hack kind of deal.
yeah, it's a huge issue to try and change their owner without the owner's involvement. But erasing their memory, it can be done by the owner. The owner can just erase parts, whatever parts they want.
Not skeevy at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, androids are property, and an android is an answering machine or a security camera, as far as
Deeply and profoundly skeevy, but honestly, in my opinion, the only way human beings are ever going to accept androids.
Yeah, fair enough.
On a fixed level, I'd have to think about that. It would be incredibly difficult and probably complex.
Especially without leaving
I'm
any mark.
very okay with the answer being no.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put down a no on that one. The solution for erasing an android's memory with fix effectively destroys it.
Yeah.
I could see. I mean, I feel like there's also going to be a distinction between in the field versus in a workshop with plenty of time.
Well, it also
Yeah,
probably depends on your
yeah,
definition of
absolutely
erase.
Like some things can be plausible.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Knox.
I'd imagine that at best and at its most lenient, the memory is a physical thing that's just like taken out, and then you have a blank droid with nothing in it. That was best case scenario
Yeah,
from my end.
that's why I say it would effectively destroy it, not physically destroy it. It's still a 10,000 credit piece of robot, but it would effectively render the android useless until it can get a new formatted drive with personality or without personality installed.
Well, the androids too, they're like their whole thing too is like all that stuff is like distributed throughout their whole body, right?
That's the sapient ones, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. 'Cause that was
Yeah.
okay.
The
Which is why it's easier on the regular ones.
the non-sapient ones
But still
have
not easy.
a brain-like organ with all that transparent goo and gel and stuff. Like that's the trineural network is still used in the non-sapient androids. It's the same exact brain as the sapient ones have. The sapient ones just
It's just like somehow utilizing what's there differently.
They got a spark and they got to add some circuitry and programming throughout their body instead of just there. Yeah. So how do you scramble a human brain without destroying it? Well, you might be able to keep the body alive, but the human's not there anymore. Same for a non-sapient android. Unless you go an electronic route, programming route.
And even then, it's still not easy.
Yeah, I mean, it actually ends up being the same result anyways.
Yeah, because I remember that came out with Nemesis too, so that was on the programming front.
Yeah. Oh, I still felt it was a good session. The first half of it was slow.
Dragged its feet a little bit.
It dragged its feet a little bit,
It was a little bit of a slow build. We ended in a good place.
Yes.
But I also focused more on the second half. I'll be fair. I'll be entirely honest there.
I appreciate that.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, my stomach was fucking killing me until about break time.
I noticed that you weren't feeling good at the start of the session anyways, and I'll say this to all of you. If you're ever in a place where you really don't want to play because of physical ailments, you can tell me, and I'll make a decision as to whether the game goes forward or not.
I was all here. It was just really distracting. I was trying to power through.
Power to you. All right.
Put to it.
Well, I think that is good for the review session. Ended right on time today.